Highlight here. This is a static strike shockwave slayer built around Abyss Jewel stacking. Abyss Jewels are a great source of damage scaling thanks to Lightpoacher and Shroud of the Lightless. We get a ton of phys extra and pen, and a ton of stats from 10 plus Abyss Jewels. Because we only use static strike every 6 seconds, we can sustain spirit charges extremely easily, and can even use Hateful Accuser for single target generation. Static Strike also snapshots, so we can also make use of Ambush in a one-hand square setup, or Intimidating Cry on a two-hand to gain a ton of free damage. Shockwave's a nice cherry on top, providing a little more consistent clear at the cost of some damage, and we can upgrade it to the new Void Shockwave support for even more clear. To make full use of these items, we'll need to scale our physical damage. Phys weapons are a huge pain to craft, expensive, and time consuming. Instead, we'll use this one chaos weapon, the Yielding Mortality, which has a lot of flat phys and crit, perfect for our purposes. We don't really care about the attack speed since you only need to hit every few seconds. You also get a big blue boy as a companion, which gives some temporary damage reduction speed, and extra damage, which is nice but not too important. We also get chance to bleed from the weapon, which synergizes well with Yoke of Suffering, gives you a little bit more extra damage. And then, once you have solved our flat fizz, we can just use typical elemental damage scaling via Trinity, Taming, Yoke, Tinctures, etc. This weapon is only beat by triple tier 2 fizz staffs for the build, and deals enough damage to do even Ubers. As you can see in this Uber footage, it was done with a Yielding Mortality, and it's like, I did some tests with the 5 link as well. Build has great damage for the budget and can scale fairly well by investing into more Abyss sockets and cracked Abyss jewels. It's not the most efficient way to scale Static Strike, but it works well enough for almost all main content in the game.
I am not the end. You cannot. Madness.
The build is based around getting as many Abyss jewels as possible to buff up the bonuses of Lightpoacher and Shroud of the Lightless. You can start with one socket on both of these uniques, and then use a Stygian Vice, and then you can scale up to two socket, three sockets, and a Darkness Enthroned. For the weapon, a Yielding Mortality is extremely good on a budget, as I mentioned earlier. A 5 link is okay, but you should 6 link it as soon as possible, because you don't have a 6 link on your body armor. Once you have more funds, you can upgrade into a better Fizz weapon, like this. For the wares, you just get life, res, and attributes as needs solving. For damage, you have the option of a taming, and then for single target, you have a hateful accuser. You can also do stuff like a curse on hit ring, but I think taming is the best in terms of damage. For the amulet, you have two choices. Um, Yoke of Suffering is the best damage option. It's insane damage, but I think it's too soft core for my taste. I went with the Defiance of Destiny instead. I think you have enough damage without it, and it lets you be more comfy during mapping. For the Abyss Jewels themselves, you just need attributes, life, flat fizz, and anything else that needs solving, such as a Void Shock. I think my Abyss Jewels are not that great. I only got them for like anywhere between 1 to 50 chaos total per jewel. You can get some good stuff like crit as well, and corrupted blood immunity, but yeah, I think per jewel you don't really need to spend that much. I have 14 Abyss Jewels on my build currently for a total of 70% Physis extra of each element. That's basically almost like 3 times your flat fizz. And you can get even more if you craft Abyss sockets on your gloves and boots, but that would be like very expensive and you'd have to give up some QOL slots, such as urgent orders. We have our Static Strike on our Staff 6 link with Trinity and the new Void Shockwave support. I think it helps with clear, but I don't really look at it enough. It's just a lot of extra damage. And our main damage plus would be an Intimidating Cry for double damage and Phase Run on an link to automation, which gives us 30% more damage for free. You just have to not use another skill while Phase Run is in effect, which is very easy. You just need to move. Don't cast Frostblink, you just walk, use a Quicksilver Flask, and you get free damage. Um, you also get Blood Rage, which gives some attack speed as QL, but this is mainly for Frenzy Charge on kill, which you'll be sustaining a lot of. Even if Phase Run will consume it, you'll just get them back again. The rest of the slots are just for Auras, Determination, Flesh and Stone. Herald of Purity is better damage, but Herald of Ash looks cooler and has almost similar damage, only like 6% worse, so I just opted to use it. Maybe it helps with clear a little bit, I have no idea. I didn't really do many tests on this, but I have an Automaton Herald, so I'm gonna use it. The last one is Precision, just for the Watcher's Eye node for increased damage. For imbuing your static strike, you have some options. You can get like hypothermia, fist of lightning, fortify. I got behead on like my third or fourth try. This gives me like a mini headhunter and some damage while enemies are in no life, which is nice. And also gives me some strike range as well. But yeah, you have a lot of options here. This is a really cool system. Cluster jewels are also giving us some useful notables. Overlord for Fortify, so we don't have to get it through a gem or the mastery. And we have power charge generation through Storm Rider. Since we're tri-elemental, we're dealing all three ailments via crit. So this gives us a decent chance to gain power charges, so we don't have to use power charge on crit. Static Strike also benefits a lot from Hydrosphere for single target because it gives you an additional target to chain off from. So the Static Strike beam will hit the boss and then the Hydrosphere, and then it will chain from the Hydrosphere to the boss. So since we're hitting 4 times a second with Static Strike and Hydrosphere can be hit once a second, this is like 24% more damage for a single target. For Static Strike, you do need to invest in some quality of life. Namely, skill effect duration is the most important. You can get a lot from this wheel near Scion, including the Mastery. You can also anoint Potency as well, but I don't think you really need it. You can get a 6.4 second Static Strike with just this wheel. You also need a little bit of attack speed, just so you can hit more consistently and you don't have to wait around as much. You can get some here, and you can also get this wheel as well, but I don't think I really need it. I have a lot of other sources such as Onslaught, Blood Rage, and etc. You also need a source of additional strikes. You can get it from any attack mastery, like here, or you can get it on a glove implicit. Though you're very tanky against multi-hits due to Defiance, I think the build really suffers from one-shots a lot, so I would really recommend this character only for mapping content, although you can do Ubers with this build, as I've showcased in the video. Um, yeah, there isn't really much else to say. Not many people are using this, so you can get these really cheap. And yeah, that's it. I hope you found the video interesting. Thank you for watching.